apologize.
Oh yeah!
Like a song.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Work, are you getting your Wi-Fi? Look at this fridge! Look at this fridge, it's so stupid! Ah! 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 What's wrong, Work? It's a really bad. Wow! Go sit in that one. I'll go sit in it.
Here. You try it. Oh god. Holy crap.
No, it wants to take me down. It wants to take me down so bad. Bananaroxas updates, we just like confusedly walked the con floor for like 15 minutes and we actually ran into somebody that watches us. How? 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 I can cry. How is that possible?
I can't.
That's you, you know who you
so
are.
cool.
Thank you.
That's so cool.
That's so cool.
That's
I'm
so
gonna
cool.
be freaking out the rest of the day.
And that probably won't be the last one, because our reach is inevitable. Yes!
What weather is this? Straight up, what is it?
Grapple.
Dang.
Falling and balling.
Cause Bananaroxas what? Bananaroxas brings the storm.
Wow, it's another human being.
This keeps happening.
Red light, yellow light, green light, go. I shot it on my pants and I shot my fucking soul.
Oh. Whoa.
To become masters of subtle comedy right now.
We just like realized how like annoying we are. Like we haven't actually caused any problems, but I'm suddenly like aware of the fact that we never
We
shut
are
up.
annoying.
At all.
We are annoying. I dropped some gauze on the ground while I was one-handedly applying it to my bleeding cracked hands, and I like screamed like, oh!
Like it's so loud.
Really loudly.
The bathroom was by the door, by the
I
way.
don't know.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's an honor. It's a gift that we're here. Everyone loves
they
it.
should be proud of us.
Literally everyone loves it so much.
Okay, this one is really unacceptable. Break a toddler with a truck.
Break it up. Shake it up.
Break it up. Pour a toddler on me. In diluted form.
Pour a toddler on me. Okay. Ice. I need more.
The blood is warm.
Yeah. Stop.
This is only funny to me.
And then what am I?
Complacent.
Bangers.
I'm trying to decide if I should go out or if I should eat my applesauce because I'm a toddler.
Crazy little baby lost in a maze. Oh no. Oh no. His cognition ain't developed enough to make it out. It sounds like we hate babies and we're just like putting it on record.
I think they're fine. I just think they're a little scary. A twisted sick bad belief. Like, do we need some fresh air or something?
Will you try one again, please? It was like red trash, yellow trash.
Yellow trash. Go.
Be careful with trash.
You don't know where it's been.
And then you did this. No.
Pour that stuff upon me. In the name of Lord, pour that stuff upon me. You foolish whore.
Keeps getting worse.
My thighs are just shaking, but it was all worth it.
Okay, take one more.
Yeah, man. Having a good day.
I hear the whistling cries of an otaku.
Bro, I have no idea.
What even is this? Maybe this is the golf course.
Is this the golf course?
I don't know.
Don't you get attacked by wild animals if you go to a golf course at night?
No, you get attacked by littlecaesars.exe.
Just wanted to let everybody know that we just went to a concert. You would never know it because I don't know how to vlog properly, and I just wanted to be in the
And
moment.
I feel like it's rude.
I feel like it's rude. But we're outside at night. It's really scary.
Gojo was really making me laugh.
Gojo was making me laugh. I'm scared.
Dude, we're gonna get attacked by night monkeys.
Night monkeys. Friday at the con is kind of slow, but I like it. It's
I like
nice.
it.
Because we didn't finish our sewing, of course, so...
You know what we're supposed to do?
What?
Finish sewing.
Nature and hiking trail. Seriously, what is it? There a fire pit? What the hell are we doing?
You wanna find out?
Yeah.
Maybe. It looks like it may be where people that want to eat food may sit.
Oh.
But I don't want to eat that torturous food.
Wait, we can take advantage of the firelight. Take our picture.
Okay, there's people walking by. So what? This is the path that no one wants to go out of because this is a nature trail at an anime convention.
Hey, cardboard on the back of my silk Gazar. It's more likely to be thick. Or even. Girl, me too. Work, my man. I don't. What's up?
I'm just empty inside
Why?
because people acknowledge my existence today.
It's really funny how this works. You're lucky I accidentally caught that on video.
Good boy.
Because I was trying to show that you did this like 5 minutes ago. I'm just cutting the bottom of these Chico's podcast. Do it again.
Anytime.
No, don't do it. You need to live alone. It's okay.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna do a scare too. Are you ready?
I think so. Like, do you want to know how we have the strength to continue? It starts here.
Gonna sound terrible, but is there something about Martin Freeman that Chinese people specifically find really alluring? Or
Okay, first of all, screw you. They're Taiwanese.
well, second of all,
Second of all, I don't even know why an American person.
or a British one of his own.
I don't care who you are. Why do you like Martin?
Let us know in the comments if you like Martin Freeman. Oh, I
Should
doubt
we go
it.
out and sing karaoke?
I can't decide. Okay, Bananaroxas con day one roundup story time.
Update.
Because I don't know if we're gonna go out again. We might.
We may, maybe will.
not.
We shall see.
Okay. I forgot this
Fuck
chair
this
sucks.
chair.
Okay, so my con story that only I experienced because Sammy was cutting out his bond guy, or work was.
Could you stop face tracking? Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Now it's really blurry. I love that.
Okay, so I was trying to walk through the lobby, which is like really not that big, because this whole place is really not that big, and so there's like a fireplace area, right, where you can sit, and this guy and his like influencer wife, who, by the way, I forgot to mention this detail to you, was wearing some kind of like puffy like white fur jacket. This guy was like sitting with his ass like right by the roaring fire, which, by the way, must have been like so hot. Every time I've walked by that, it's like it felt
It's
like
really
a blast.
warm.
So I'm sure his butt cheeks were just melting. Okay, so this guy is like a sorry, like a middle-aged like black man with like thick rimmed glasses. He's bald, and he has like a black T-shirt with white lettering on it that says "Here it is." Hashtag Here it is.
Here.
And so his wife is standing like in front of him a little bit, like clearly filming on her phone and like blocking the clear path for anybody to walk past. So like I'm circling around sort of like the seating area so that I can get where I was trying to go. And so like I just see him like sit down and like he really posed just kind of just like this. And then he was just like, "Here it is." And then he started talking about like obedience and something about a relationship. I couldn't hear it. I honestly should have just stood there and figured out what it was, but I don't know if I could. So that's my story.
Thank you for sharing. Alright, well, we have another story to tell.
Okay.
Alright.
Story number 2.
Story number 2, you film it
Okay.
like this. So, we're just like barely made it out of the vendor hall after we ended up coming out late or whatever.
Yeah, who cares?
And all of a sudden, like, this guy wearing like some sort of bohemian shawl over his shoulder with like really long, like, I'm a dude.
Yeah.
And he's just like, so, are you guys looking for another?
Are you in the market?
Are you in the market for a new hyperfixation?
And I was just kind of like, I don't know. What is it?
Am I?
Am I?
And then he proceeds to tell us about his panel that no one is going to go to because the stupid people making these paneling are just like wiping their asses instead of like writing down what the panels are gonna say. So he's trying to promote some sort of thing that I feel like I can't possibly care about.
It was a really cool
Worm.
web. What did he?
Webworm? I don't
No,
know.
no. He calls it.
Parahuman.
No, it's not quite a web comic, a web novel. It's a web novel. It's a web.
It's really pretentious.
Like he did, but that like nobody knows about. I'm gonna talk about it in 10 minutes. He didn't even like explain to us like what it would be about.
It's just really cool.
It's just really cool. And then we went and looked it up on the schedule, and it sounded like something that all of us would. So we didn't go. And I hope that somebody went, but I'm really glad that it wasn't me.
Yeah, because like it would suck if like this guy like is just like asking for help and like you show up at the panel and then you walk out because like you're either bored or just not interested or like you need water.
It feels awkward. It would be so bad. I'm glad that we went to the J-Rock concert instead.
Yeah, that was better.
That was a lot
Anyways,
better.
we have a lot to get to.
Yeah. Clearly.
There is a Wookiee. Do you ever wonder why?
Hey guys, okay, so we went to check out the Vibe for karaoke, but it was confusing and rancid, so we aren't doing it today.
Yeah, some guy that was singing way too well for us.
Yeah, and he had a sparkly sequin jacket on, and I just felt like, I don't know.
Nah.
I gotta get a good crowd for Roundabout, so.
Yeah. We're considering going back for Pour Some Sugar on Me, but we're not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
The vibe was wrong.
I don't know, I don't like the vibe as much. But the vibe that I like worse is we were trying to come back from that, and this group of like 3 pretty cosplay girls doing fuck knows what. I don't know.
Or maybe nothing and they just look like that naturally. I don't know. It's like the Muppets in here.
It's like the Muppets in here. So like there's like a hallway, and they were right outside the door to like the main hallway to go to the rooms. And 2 of them were like standing off to this like the other side of the room. So I thought they were taking a picture. I was like, oh. But then I walk in there, and this girl has her phone, like, front-facing camera, like, it could have been TikTok, I don't know.
I know.
And she was lip-syncing to some stupid crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Were they lip syncing or were they actually talking? I couldn't tell if the sound was
actually, I think that they were.
They were like saying something just like boys, just do the responsible thing and make out with each other and then hump.
Did she say hump?
I heard something to that effect. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and then I walked in. We walked in using the hallway and doors like anybody would, you know. And then she's like, "Oh no, we're not filming. We're not filming." It's like I didn't know what to do, so like I just like said nothing. I put 2 peace signs up and kind of jogged past.
And then I did the same thing, but just one. Because I was just like confused and just like I don't know what. And then we went to walk in the nature trail again because my tummy feels bad.
So I hope that they enjoyed that, and that if it is TikTok, whatever part of it that it always must keep on their server, even if it's not recording, has us.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, ladies. God.
I don't know anymore.
We're gonna go back in there. They're still gonna be there.
Yeah, that's gonna be awkward.
Oh God, come on, man.
I like this look. It's like male also.
Let it go. We've already done this joke, and it was funnier, so.
Just take the damn wig off.
Just go away.
Bleeding poo in the shop. And you're Ariel male.
Do you want me to document that, or does nobody care?
I care.
1 a.m. Hamilton joke log. There's nothing rich folks have at all. It doesn't make sense. I'm going to the mall.
1 a.m. Hamilton joke. This is a Willy Wonka funhouse. Like, it's terrible.
4-star Willy Wonka.
4-star Willy Wonka Funk House.
Funk house.
That's literally insane.
Okay, do you want me to go
Yeah,
back?
please, I'm filming.
You want me to cut him off again?
Yeah, please.
Okay. The majority of the time at any convention should be spent digging in Ichigo Kurosaki's armpits. I'm sorry in advance to everything that's about to happen.
You know, I'll be fine.
Crazy free armpit man. You're a fucking beehole. Wait, sorry. No, you're a fucking country-loving beehole man.
You're making me feel bad. Stop whining at me. You're making me...
You feel bad, Ichigo Kurosaki.
Yeah, you're making me feel bad. You're making me feel bad, so just stop whining at me.
It's like, I want to leave the hotel room too. You don't see me complaining about it.
Bananaroxas 17 on day 2. We're taping Ichigo sleeves onto him.
And listening to Kanmei Joe.
Yeah, because Ichigo Kurosaki thinks that it's a motivational song.
It is, though.
Not to me.
Well, the only reason I actually think that is because one time we were reading Teen Wolf Imagines, and someone said that it was a motivating song, and then, like, I listened to it, and for that, only that instant, I actually felt like writing Theum, and then I never did. So, that's my story. Oh, this looks really good, though. I hate you.
I hate you.
Thanks, boo.
I'm going to be wearing pillows.
The cum is on the counter.
I'm sorry, don't put the cum on me.
Delight. No, you don't. We're better than that.
All the awkward here.
We're better than that. We're better than that.
See, look, like nobody can mistake our asses.
No.
Okay. See, and like only 1 p.m. Only 1 p.m. Okay? A bunch of dipshits just went to masquerade and wasted their lives away. So like, let's
That's
just
nighttime.
live.
Ichigo Kurosaki.
Wasn't it at 12?
No, it's nighttime. It's at 7 p.m. today.
Okay, well,
What's happening at 12? I don't know.
I think they're judging it at 12.
Why did they judge it before they perform?
I don't know, because they're...
Ready? Lint rolling POV. Do I even know how to use this thing?
Okay, look at the direction. Okay. It says go that way, so you're gonna go that way.
Great. Caught that on camera.
Great.
Okay, decent.
Okay, do I get a pass?
Yeah, you get everything you ever wanted.
Okay.
You want to lint roll me here?
No. Oh, yes. I do. Alright. Other people are out there in rooms clean. I just want to be left alone, so it's time to leave.
I've been a really irresponsible vlogger because we're kind of feeling bummed out because we don't know what K-pop Demon Hunters is.
We don't know what
It's the basketball
is.
court.
Basketball court.
Let's go to the basketball court, Hollow Ichigo. And Bianca. You're leaving me behind, man. Do that again, it was so cool. Yeah!
Basketball!
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 Hello Ichigo says, I love basketball. I love basketball. Ah!
Alright, that was fun. You want to take a picture by the reconstructing children's play?
Why should we do that? I miss everything funny that you do.
I burped and then I moaned.
You also said Brosif Kuchki.
I called you Brosif Kuchki.
You did.
This is a pine tree. Synonymous with the Kuchki name.
Don't lie, man. Just stop lying. I'm scared that no one knows what bleach is anymore.
They do. They're just hiding it. They're shy.
Just say. That's totally Axel, by the way. Yeah, that's totally Axel. It's kind of rubbing off. I'm bad at this. I'm not bad at this. It's just hard. Yeah. What time is it? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
What do you look like, Ichigo?
I look like a Bratz doll.
Yes, you do. So cute. Just want to give everyone a quick update. Like, I had someone tell me that my Byakuya was... Fuck you, man. That my Byakuya was absolutely, like, amazing and on point. I'm wearing pillow slopes. I am absolutely wearing pillow slopes. Should I feel bad?
No.
No.
Oni.
I'm Bananaroxas.
I'm Bananaroxas.
Also, Byakuya Kuchiki has brownie on his lips from the main cafe.
Oh, Byakuya, no, you're so pretty. Don't cry. I mean, you look so cool. Don't be sorrowful. For it will make me discontented.
Let's try scrambled.
We haven't been talking.
I haven't been talking at all. Maybe that's why we feel so sad.
Okay, yeah, that's the problem. All right.
We need to come up with a game plan because I feel like if we sit down to eat dinner, the light is going to be gone.
I agree. So do you want to just take some pics?
Yeah.
Okay, girlfriend. Get the brownie off your face.
What? Yes, I'm breaking my back. You look so cool.
I'd love to hear that.
Okay. Okay, do more emo things. Just do more emo.
I have nowhere else to go.
There's a lot of furries here.
They're bored.
Am I being discriminatory?
You're not. Like, I've been friends with furries. I respect them. I think they're more talented than me. So that's about it.
What if I touch a lip? Is this poisonous?
I know.
Why would they put it outside the...
I know. This is a thought that I've had a lot, though. You'd have to be pretty deep in the woods, I think, for this stuff to appear. I realize I'm filming. Whoops. Okay. Dinner flush.
Ichigo, do you want to eat dinner? Yay.
A 10-second dinner flush.
What kind of flashing are we talking about?
Byakuya Kuchiki.
I think it's so funny.
Can we just get like a video of you spinning up, Ichigo?
Other than that, I feel like if you just doing what you do, you just do what you do, you know, dude?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's fine.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
When Byakuya Kuchiki almost left his hotel keys in the hotel when leaving it! You should get me doing caramel dancing.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, it's so cute. It's literally so cute. You are adorable. Do you want to go to the rave? No.
I'm autistic.
I have a migraine. I'm autistic. I have claustrophobia. I have germophobia. I have obsessive compulsive disorder. I have... Okay, stop listing it. It's cool. That's the biggest problem. We look poor.
No, Ichigo, we don't look poor. Again, we fooled someone to think that we were going to be in the masquerade. I'm wearing pillow slips. I reiterate again.
Do you want to go for a dip? I am Nikki Mondick. This is someone actually is taking a dip. I thought the pool was closed. I don't know. Why is there a puddle of water?
Because of the Loch Ness Monster, obviously.
Duh. Okay, you wanted to take a video of me spinning?
Yeah, can you spin on grass?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can spin just about anywhere.
Okay, that's good.
Did you flip your hair for me? No.
Oh. Okay, here you go.
You want me to lift it?
Yeah, lift it a little.
Okay.
Don't trip.
I got one more in me, okay?
Okay. Yay, you're beautiful.
Yay.
You're so beautiful.
You want to spin?
Yeah.
Oh,
So sorry.
a dip.
What is that thing you're always saying? Don't die, Ichigo.
I say don't die, people go. Uh-huh. Yes. You're gorgeous. You're literally gorgeous. I could like scalp you.
Can we do something like this? I feel like Byakuya the musical is always doing.
Yeah, those
Can't be my
Yes,
moment.
your moment. No, we're here. That's enough, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Okay. I'm sorry.
What did you just say to me? Yo, Kurosaki, you cringe ass Nene, baby.
Alright, but do you want some yum-yums?
You said num nums before.
Okay. Do you want num-nums?
Don't be so accommodating. You're such a fucking pushover, man.
I am literally the funniest thing from the pushover that there is. I publicly denounce people that sing Bowser songs.
We need story time. We haven't been doing story time, and everyone is acting like Charlie Brown. Low key like Charlie Brown.
Okay, it's hot in here. Bestie, can you run the cooler?
Yes, Dusty.
Can I lay down so Justy?
Yes. Amount of things that can fall into the toilet on Byakuya Kutsuki. Number 1, recycled polyester scarf that is pinned to me, and I just remembered that. Captain's robe. Giant sleeves.
Giant pillow slip sleeves.
Emo. Hakama pits. Even my shoes can fall into the toilet if they fall into the wrong hands.
That's sexy. I like when you turn around like that.
Okay. Alright. Doing Ichigo.
Get your document Chris ready.
Go. The coochie at the club. Okay. Bananaroxas day 2 of Con. So far, story time. There's probably been a couple other updates. Everyone's feeling weird, and no one really knows how to describe how. Maybe it's just because we took a really long time getting our costumes on for various kind of dumbass reasons. Which wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I just spent like so much time taping your sleeves on.
And then I realized that I look pretty good, like, without them attached
Because
properly.
it's hollowified. So like it all works out in the end. And this isn't even like necessarily a reason. We've just kind of been like walking around, obviously. You saw like first thing when we stepped out, like your favorite character from 2019 when you were last going to cons, like just like a random cosplayer.
Yeah, that was the last
of
cosplay I ever did.
Well, that's crazy.
Publicly.
It's Remuda from Hit Mike, by the way, everybody.
Yeah, that was the last public cosplay that I did.
In 2020.
It was 2020.
Yeah,
that
just
was the
barely.
last one that I did. It was Remuda. And we saw the Remuda, and I took a picture of the Remuda, and I was like probably way too excited. And I like spread my arms like
No,
this.
I think
I was so excited.
you should be. I think
Because
people love
that was what I wanted. I wanted one person to like want to talk to me, because like I saw Fling Posse and I never spoke to them, and like the idea, but they kind of acknowledged my presence, but like I wanted someone to be like, hey, oh my god, it's Remuda.
Yeah, you gotta-
and like come like take a picture with me, or you know, like someone just say something. And I feel like, I don't know, I think this is like just something that happens. People are just like scared.
in general, and maybe even more so now than before. Like the past 6 years,
Yeah.
everything has gotten weird. I think everyone can agree about that. But I think you should, when you can't always come at things with like full blown excitement, because you never know how much someone
Yeah.
might actually need it.
yeah.
Like, even if they're hanging out with other people and
Yeah,
stuff, it's
so,
just
like-
like you don't know.
No, I don't care. I mean, like, I had to, like, they were talking to Indiana Jones, or Indiana Jones was, like, within the vicinity at the time, and I was just sitting here and just like, no, I want a picture of Remuda. I don't care about Indiana.
Fuck out, Indy. Get the fuck out. So that was like really exciting, and then we just kind of wandered around Lost for a while.
And we wanted to talk to this Axel, but I think it was the Reno that we saw that was,
Yeah.
like, definitely a TikToker and way too put together for us to want to
I
approach with the
considered
flyer.
giving them a Bananaroxas brochure, but it didn't end up working out.
Yeah.
One funny thing that happened is after we were wandering around aimlessly for a while, we got the classic, and I was hoping that this would happen at least one of these times. Because I think these are so funny. It said this is kind of like a fancy old people hotel when it's not an anime convention. And there was like this random old guy, and like I was talking to you because like we were all trying to like stop ourselves from feeling too weird for no reason. I was talking to you, and I could see like this old guy approaching me in my peripheral vision, and I was like, "Oh man, what is this gonna be?" And then he's just like, "Excuse me, I have no idea. I don't know anything about it.
I don't pretend.
I'm not gonna pretend to know. But my wife and my daughter just like really love it. So you guys, it just looks so cool. It would be so cool if I could just get a picture of you, please." And then, like, as is classic when these things happen, we just kind of got pulled into orbit with like anyone else that happened to be walking by because we were here because we missed like one session of the maid cafe, and so we were talking to one of the maids, and she came back, and then she got pulled into the picture with me off the need to go, and so we took a cool picture, and there was like other people walking by, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, this is so cool." So
oh great, there's more of them.
Yeah.
No, they just kept filtering in.
I really love people like that.
Yeah, these are like always really fun.
So I'm glad that we got to do that, and whether or not your wife and daughter like Bleach, I hope you love it.
I hope you enjoy.
Okay, the most iconic thing that happened, and I feel like I'm gonna realize how funny it is as I keep talking about it, because like, I don't know, obviously for various reasons we're really bad at like processing things that happen while we're like out and about in front of people, and so oftentimes I don't realize how fucking funny something is until I'm like, I get a chance to think about it. But Bananaroxas, it's so exciting. We saw Venom Snake. Now, not just Venom Snake.
No.
So we walked around other places for a bit. I think the vendor hall. Probably a couple other people took pictures of us. Mostly just like random photographer
that are just like, oh, anime.
Yeah, oh, anime.
Or maybe they knew and they just didn't tell us.
I don't know. Yeah, but we were waiting for our session of the main cafe to start, and Venom Snake is walking up. Now, the thing about Venom Snake today is that he doesn't have his horn, and he doesn't have his eye patch. But, like, I instantly know that it's him because of the crappy camo and probably a scarf. And, of course, he had at least his, like, fox.
And his arm.
His arm. Once you have that,
everyone knows who it is.
Who the hell else could you be? And so, like, we recognized him, and we were immediately like, oh, my God, we have to give him a brochure. And so, like, we weren't even thinking. We just went. And he, like, because we were like, oh my God, are you Venom Snake? And he seemed kind of, like, surprised that we recognized him. Yeah. And he immediately started going into this, like, spiel about, like, yeah, I don't know. I had my horn and my eye patch, but, like, I realized when I was going to leave, like, I lost them somewhere. And I was like, no, it's okay. You're still obviously Venom Snake.
And then I said, like, can I get a picture of you anyways?
Yeah.
And then, like, I had the camera out for whatever reason. I just, like, took it with that.
Yeah,
and,
professional
like,
photograph.
Yeah, just, like, a really nice looking thing. And then, like...
I had the brochure.
Yeah.
And I was like, we do a lot of Metal Gear stuff on our YouTube channel. Please take a look. And I sort of handed it to him like this. And his perfect Venom Snakey reaction was just like, oh. And so he took it. I bet he'll also lose it somewhere, and that's fine. And then, so I continued to get to observe Venom Snake as we sat here waiting. Because, like, the thing that was killing me about it was that he just kept explaining to people that he lost his eye patch and horn.
Like, different people would walk down the hallway and be like,
people would recognize Venom Snake
some sort of dipshit reference.
Some kind of dipshit Metal Gear Solid 5 reference. Like, oh, we'll die for you, boss. And then he was like, yeah, I lost my eye patch and horn.
And then they're already walking.
They're already walking with me. He's like, I have to explain myself. It's like, no. Bro, you're good.
You're good.
I wanted to tell him that he could just make one out of aluminum foil, but I didn't really get the chance, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so we got to continue to watch him because he came to the maid cafe with us. And, like, I was watching him, like, I don't know. He just had such an air about everything that he did. It was just so deeply Venom Snakey. Because, like, he was perfect. Because he was convinced that nobody knew who he was, but everybody knew who he was and respected him, which is exactly how Metal Gear Solid 5 is.
Yeah.
So, like, despite all of his, like, insecurities, he was actually, like, so perfect. And he was, like, hanging out in the main cafe. He was, like, waving, like, a red light stick, like, really, really close to his face. Probably because of shining lights even in death. Just sort of a natural instinct to do something like that. And Like, I was just, like, watching him half the time that I wasn't watching the performances, because he would just be, like, doing that, and then he would, like, check his phone in the middle of, like, the girls performing, which was so rude, Venom Snake. But, like, a Venom Snake thing to do overall. And I don't know where else he's going to go in his... Actually, no, I know exactly where, because I saw him being Venom Snake in the lobby after we got out.
And he was also looking at his
sitting there
phone.
looking at his phone. Like...
The life of a real Venom Snake.
A real-ass Venom Snake. And we'll put a picture of him, or perhaps we'll put our picture censored. I don't know. I mean, you're at a con already. This is just how things are.
This is your photo.
We'll put real-ass Venom Snake.
He was just, like, so Venom Snake. Another thing that I observed, because, like, I was, like, kind of panicking at the maid cafe.
Yeah, but the maids were really nice to us.
But they were nice to us.
And they hung out with us,
yeah.
and everything was okay, so thank you.
But they... Yeah, so, like, we did our little spell to make sure that everything would be good.
Oh, yes.
And like, it was like, okay, you can eat now. And, like, you know, some people were taking their time. You just like, okay, I'll start with some tea. And Venom Steak, like... during the amount of time that, like, I was just, like, sitting here, just, like, sitting right next to Venom Steak, just thinking to myself, like, I can't escape. I'm trapped at a table with other people. I can't take off my mask. I can't do anything. And, like, Venom Snake is sitting next to me, and, like, throughout the time, I kept, like, glancing over, and, like, all of a sudden, his food was gone.
Yeah, you didn't tell me, because I looked at him, and I saw him, like, vigorously dunking his tea back.
Because he was Venom.
Wait, what did he order? Do you know what he ordered?
I don't know.
Which option did he take?
I think it disappeared too quickly. I want to say it was a Danish.
Oh, that's such a Venom Snake thing to order. And so, knowing as we're more deeply amused by this guy than I think he'll ever imagine.
No, and we're really not even making fun of him. He's just, like, so perfect.
It's just perfect. And I say that as the perfect Venom Snake cosplayer. Like,
he's better than you.
He's better than me. I finally
he's
have
better
to...
than you because I feel like he's doing it out of the genuineness of his heart.
Right, everything I do is, like, dipped in, like, irony and parody. That's just not right at some level. When some people actually live like Venom Snake.
And that's the moral of the story.
And the moral of the story is some people actually live like Venom Snake. And I'm very glad that we were there to witness it. Despite our other, like... nebulously mixed feelings throughout the day. It was amazing. And so Bananaroxas. And if he watches this, he actually checks this out. We love you so much. Though, I don't know. He's probably gonna lose it.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what he thought of the Don goof. It was a bit shocking.
Of course it is. But that's okay. That's the point.
Oh, and we got to write on the table. So hopefully some other people, or at least the maids, were able to see the tablecloth with Bananaroxas on it.
Yeah, we've been...
I also wrote Chaidichi for life. And did a bad drawing of them.
Yeah, and I drew my famous signature drawing of Nanami as Stewie and Gojo as Brian from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, one of your best.
I wish I took a picture of the one.
You're just like so good at it. It's just, first of all, it's too perfect.
It's super. I drew it in my sketchbook like months ago, and then like I don't know, it was just like on my mind because we were hanging out with this very nice person who recognized our gangsta cosplays yesterday. And has received a Bananaroxas brochure and has kind of been talking with us, and they were cosplaying Nanami yesterday, so I guess it was just like on the mind.
Yeah.
And they did see it. And it was like, I don't know, it's just one of those things that like resonates with everyone.
No, people love this.
Like, it's understood. Like, I can't tell you exactly what it means, and I just like don't even care about Jujutsu Kaisen enough to like analyze like why I feel the compelled to draw this. I just know that it is, you know, it's real. We got a couple like compliments, one from a Genshin Impact person, and another from someone that I can't even recall if they were cosplaying, but they were the person that told me that we looked great and that my Byakuya specifically was on point, and they gave me a fist bump, which once again.
You're wearing pillow slips.
It's I have to compliment Bleach on just exactly how much you can get away with the amount of layers that there are. Even you, just like I don't know, it takes a lot. So I keep wondering if we're feeling lost because we go into the artist alley and like we don't know any anime boys anymore, which is disappointing considering how much I think we both have been like getting back into the concept of anime boys over the past year.
Or even just like feeling nostalgic for anime boys we used to like, or things like this. It's like,
but everything is like I think the thing that was scary about it is like we couldn't even like recognize most of it, and we come to the conclusion that likely most of these people are either Genshin Impact or K-pop Demon Hunters, is what we.
And if they're not either of those, there has been Hotel.
Yeah, which is like I understand, you know, just like you got to make what sells,
or maybe this is all that
works, but you know about.
You
but
know,
it is a little disappointing.
We did find some things to buy that we hadn't noticed yet because we noticed a couple of different,
including another one of your favorite characters.
Yeah,
as a sticker. That was
I actually
crazy.
found someone drawing Xeroscape art, and then like, I was able to encourage them to draw more. So that was
that's
cool.
always good.
I love Xeroscape.
You're such a good Xeroscape fan. Yeah, unless we have anything else to say, like I do just want everybody to like picture. Since we've clearly shown him, and he's probably been on the screen this whole time, and he'll be like on the screen the whole video. This Venom Snake, I doing this like moe cute. I don't know how much he got into it because I wasn't looking at him, but I just love it.
It's so
I love that it was.
Oh, another thing we witnessed was the conversation. Like, one of the guys was sitting with the maid, so he was. Like, he started speaking to Venom near the end of it. He was just like, "Hey, Venom, did you play Metal Gear Solid Delta? That's one of the only new Metal Gear news. I don't know." And Venom was like, "Nope,
not yet. It took him like a good amount of time to answer me, which was just so Venom.
Not yet."
Which I feel like is everyone's response when asked about Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Yeah, people were talking about the games, and I thought about talking about Peace Walker, but I just didn't really want to talk about Metal Gear in front of strangers, and I was just like trying to like be okay with where I was.
Yeah, I think that's generally a good idea. Yeah, there's supposed to be like a secondhand like sort of night market swap meet thing, but like literally one person showed up for it yesterday, and we were totally banking on that because we only like old crap that no one likes. But that person just had Taylor Swift and Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, the saddest thing, and I feel like this is the last thing.
Yeah,
it's really sad. We're really into free right now.
Yeah.
And
Iwatobi Swim Club.
I have been just like hoping that someone would sell some old free merch or something, and the only thing that we have seen was this like abandoned Haru plushie, just like sitting really sadly in this like I don't know Japanese snack pond.
I can barely see him, and I was just like, "Is that Haru?"
And yeah, but the thing is that like I don't like Haru.
I don't like him enough to save him.
I don't like Haru. It's like if it was Rei,
it was basically any other character.
I don't like any other character, but I don't like Haru.
Sorry, Haru-chan.
I don't like Haru. I think he's really important to everyone, but I like more. But I don't like him. I don't like him because it's just too real.
Yeah, he's too real. Okay.
Someone turn off the camera. Poo.
Alright.
Ichigo Kurosaki, stop doing phallic references. Okay, I'm venting about the Willy Wonka shower. Okay, so this is a Willy Wonka funhouse. I said this when we were too tired to explain last night. And basically, like, Alright. I know I haven't been to a hotel in a long time. I know that, like, I have, like, less tolerance for bullshit because I've hardly, you know, existed, you know, after a certain point in time. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I have to take a shower. I go and I look over at the faucet to go turn it on. I am, like, really hydrophobic. But not, like, severely, just, like, it's an autism problem. And like I look over here, so like it's already a danger zone basically using a shower that isn't my own. And I look over at the faucet and like there's a giant hole in the drywall, and I go to turn it on and like yeah, it's cold. Okay, I turn it up. And here's the diluted thing that's happening is that like to turn up the heat of the faucet, it's not like the one I have at home. You have to turn it up obviously, and rather than making the water colder or warmer, it may increase the pressure. So now there's more water flying at you, and it is still freezing cold. And there is nothing that we could do to get this to stop. So I took like a freezing shower, and like it was absolutely petrifyingly terrible because like at some point while I kept trying to adjust the water, like the handle fell off and I had to put that back on. And then like it just like literally like it felt like freezing torrential downpour rain. Literally everything about it was awful. And like I don't mind taking cooler showers, but like it sometimes it just felt like it would get even colder than I felt like was possible. And then like when Peter went in to observe it, he described the phenomenon as like feeling like a BDSM sub, where like every time that you thought that it was getting better, like it would just like come back and hit you again. And it was just like horrifying and just like shaking like a wet rag, we all were, and just like feeling so like terrible. Yeah. And you found that I kept turning on the faucet to get myself some more water.
I take showers slightly differently than you do. So like what I tried to do was like actually leave it running for a while, so that maybe in hopes of it becoming warmer. It never got past like barely lukewarm. And the thing that I found really creepy about it too was like it was doing this thing that I feel like should be impossible by the laws of science, which is that like it only felt warm at like the very end of the water, and I felt like the higher up that I reached, the colder that it was, which doesn't make any sense at all. And so like it was just this thing where like obviously like if you turned on the water, it would suddenly get like freezing cold for a minute, and then like randomly, I don't even know what was causing this, it would just like get like really warm, and then I'd be like, oh, I have to wash my back, I have to like rinse off my hair, and then it would like get really cold, like not more than like 10 seconds, and it was just like stop, and then I would just be like shuddering and moaning and like why?
Yeah, you kept just saying like why? So we called it like the Eisen shower because like was it really getting warmer, or did you just think it was getting warmer? So yeah,
terrible Eisen Yowie shower.
And don't get me started on the goose down pillows. Like I kept saying that I was turning into fudge. So
Too soft, mama bear ass situation.
like it was terrible. It is terrible. No wonder I have such a headache right now because of the fucking neck pain that induced. It's like, yeah, I could bring my own pillow. I don't want to. I can't because I still want to sleep on my pillow at home.
It's all complicated.
It's incredibly complicated. Anyways, looks like
also
food's
we're
ready.
taking 5,000 things already.
Yeah. Okay. Willy Wonka event is over.
Oompa doompa doopity doop.
Oompa, oompa, oompity, oomph.
I have another call out for you.
Oompa, oompa.
You will unfollow and block too once you hear one oompa
Oompa, oompity doo. Well, we have about 30 minutes to make it to V2 for Smash or Pass.
I don't know. I feel like despite everything that we do on Bananaroxas, one of my worst fears is being in sexually charged situations with strangers. And also it would just be like the woman from The Princess Bride.
Yeah, from what I've already seen.
I'm old. I'm so old.
Just stop making ugly characters and maybe I'll have sex with them.
Very well put, sir. Very well put.
Did you go for a second? Stop sucking off Irish blood.
Do I sound like that?
I don't know. Did your sister know how many guys you fucked?
I don't know.
You can ask her if you want. That's weird.
She's going to start clobbering you, man. For real. Just be fucking for real.
On the daily, my man.
You're used to clobbering, you're used to a good whooping.
Yeah, I like it, man.
Conversations are weird.
I don't like the clobber girl.
Does anyone know how to get the confidence to sing karaoke? Because I just feel like I don't.
Imagine everyone in the room likes Bananaroxas.
I don't have to imagine, it's always true. Oh, I just don't know how to do it. They didn't let me out of the human cage when I was born, so I
Like,
don't.
we've spoken to so many human beings that we never would have dreamed of speaking to.
I know, so like... What's the issue?
The issue is your tissue.
Ichigo Kurosaki, you are grounded for Tilcock.
Or Tilcock.
Senbon Zakura Kageyoshi.
That was funny.
Thank you.
I like you.
I tolerate you. Oh no, the battery's running out, Ichigo.
Oh no, we need to like restore it.
Restore! Senbon Zakura, restore! What's saying it?
It's a million blades, not a million healing wind.
Nothing that we say makes any sense.
Is a healing wind? I don't know, man.
I don't know.
That was all. You want to do, what's it called? Amazing Charm of Man.
It could happen.
It could happen.
Mike and Sully. You got a friend in there.
Yeah, there you go. wait until I tell you. Okay, Momotaro Mikoshi, but now.
Hey! There's 8 masturbating capybaras outside of the Little America.
It's so dry. It's so dry.
Usually you can do that voice much better.
I hate hotel air. It's just so bad.
What have you enjoyed about the hotel?
I like being able to pee and poo without needing to like have 8 mental breakdowns.
Hell yes.
I know Byakuya agrees, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Let's eat our food in the shower. Just look at the time it's set. Nothing unlocks to live for the potential light. Turning up the faucet, have a pulse to spread. We're eating food in the shower. Ain't this romantic? It's just like bread. Although I definitely have to be a toast in my life, and there's a huge amount of bacon collected in your drain. Woo!
He was like idiot, like Tony's guide to raising idiot teenagers, and I said, yeah, 103K, and they're like, why do you know that? And I was like,
What are we doing?
Tony's guide to raising idiot teenagers.
Tried to go to the AO3 panel,
It gave us dry mouth.
but we all
and
started like having like heart.
I started having an anxiety attack, and so I had to leave the panel, mostly because about 4 or 5 people, the panelists' friends, decided to sit right in front of us and act like we were ghosts. So I decided to leave.
I didn't even want to go. We were just like walking by with absolutely nothing to do.
And they were like, "Hey, come to our panel," and
I
I'm
was
just like, "Okay."
I wanted to advertise Goof Don Yaoi to them, but maybe I'll catch them coming out.
I don't want to talk to them.
They don't need our yaoi.
They don't need our yaoi. Only the privileged deserve our yaoi.
Which is why we're going to sing Roundabout karaoke in front of a small group of people. In a few minutes. Or 20.
Right now, we're just listening to this dipshit try to sing Hamilton. He's doing great.
Singing Hamilton. We should get out there and cheer.
Oh my god. Are you Morgan Berry? Oh my god. I fucking loved you in Free. Oh my god. Morgan Berry here.
Hey, Bananaroxas is here. Filming a video in front of all these semi-trucks going by.
Alright.
I'm scared.
We just, we did Roundabout karaoke.
Yes.
You'll probably hear that now. Or you already did.
I don't know what we chose.
And now we're just sitting here just thinking to ourselves, like, I don't know, we've been having these really weird thoughts lately. Like,
is any of this for real or not?
and like, how is public service English? It is true. But like, I feel like I have this, like, I don't know, this weird feeling where it's like, I'm getting all these signs. I'm getting all these signs. It's like, yeah, you're here. You're doing the right thing. This is where you need to be. And like, I feel like I don't know why. Because like, I mean, it's not that I don't think that I deserve this. Obviously, I thought that I deserve it enough that like I went in the first place. But like, I'm sitting here, you know, like trying to do all the right things. And like, it seems like it always starts with something really big. And then I just like, I drift away. What do you mean? I mean, like, you know, like we walk out there and like, Remuda is there. Like you said, like, I saw Remuda, like through the window. Like we thought it was just some girl that looked like Remuda. No, it was Remuda. Like, Remuda Amanora. Like, it was fucking Remuda. And like, we did the right thing. Like, that's what that tells me. Like, we did the right thing. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm talking at a table, and like, I found Venom Snake. I found the actual Venom Snake. And like, even though the experience wasn't perfect, like, I'm like, yeah, this is where I need to be. But then like, I just like, I fall into this pit. Or like, even like when I just walk into the convention after seeing Remuda, like, I'm just like, I don't belong here.
I think maybe it's just because we spent so long, honestly, all but completely isolated.
Yeah.
For reasons, like, so many different reasons. Not just COVID, not just mental health problems, but trauma, and just, like, trauma that had been going on for years, even before that point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that, like, I think we're just so used to, like, having fun on our own that, like,
Yeah.
it's gonna take a while to, like, get used to the idea of having fun with other people, even, like, in passing. Or even just, like, having other, like, conversations with people.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, this is a small con. It's not like I was expecting, like, am I still recording? Some amazing, like, hype blowout experience, because I don't think we would want that and we couldn't handle that.
No.
But it's just like,
And it's not just the fact that I'm claustrophobic. It's not just the fact that, like, I am still dealing with obsessive compulsive disorder.
Right.
And that is directly related to contamination.
you've done a fantastic job.
And,
this
like,
weekend.
it doesn't have anything to do with any of that. It's just the fact that, like, I feel like I don't exist. And I think this is how everyone feels. But, like, I feel like there's something about this place, and I feel like it's not this place. It's always been like this. We just didn't notice.
Right.
Because, like, you know, like, I had this experience when I went to Savo, and Taya by relation, where it's just like, everyone knows each other, except me.
And that's, like, an experience that I feel like we've had, like, even, like, going to school.
Yeah.
Like, forever.
Uh-huh.
For fucking ever. It always feels like everyone knows each other except for you.
And it just makes you feel like you're the only person in the entire world. And, like, I don't care. Like, I'm used to that. I like that. That's why we made Bananaroxas.
Right.
And, like, that's fine. It's just, like, I don't know how to be that person, because, like, when I went to Sabo, the only reason that I made friends, the only reason I made memories, the only reason that I had even a remotely good time was because some random girl walked up to me and she saw that I was cosplaying Shuichi Saihara, and I looked bad, and I looked alone, and I was looking at my phone because my fucking brother wasn't coming downstairs because his fucking girlfriend was just fucking ass.
My girlfriend was Jorno, for the record.
And, like, I feel like if she hadn't talked to me then, I don't think I would like cosplay.
Wow. That's amazing.
And, like, that's, like, really sad, because I've cut off all contact with her. I don't know if she even exists anymore. I don't care. She probably does. But, like, it's always been like this. And, like, what? will this make sense soon? Because we have 1 day left. But it's not just like 1 day. Like, we're gonna continue living after this. And all those things from 2019 that we thought would never make sense, we finally made sense of.
Yeah.
Just like a few months ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe the thing is that, like, it's impossible for you to make sense of it by yourself because, like, I don't know, like, your own perception or your place in other people's lives is really not for you to understand or decide.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, to us, we might feel constantly, like, confused. Like, we don't know what we're doing. And, like, we're washed up old hags. And, like,
We don't know what
nobody's paying attention. But, like, somebody told us today that they remembered us because of our eyes. And so, like, even if we can't understand it, it's, like, just not true.
Yeah.
That none of this matters because we just can't know that, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
And I knew this was gonna get existential at some point. I didn't know that Roundabout was the breaking
Bananaroxas.
point, and that's fine because, like, I had fun enough, but I was also just like sitting here. I was like, wow, y'all know each other. Even the person singing like Danny Sexbang
Had someone else.
had someone else,
But we
and
don't-
like you would think that like singing Danny Sexbang would make you alone. Because we've all been there. And
We all have.
that's the creepy thing. We've been listening to Danny Sexbang all week
Out of-
to avoid anxiety
out
attacks.
of complete desperation. Every time that everyone was about to have an anxiety attack, we put on eating food in the shower.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of the only things that could like get me to stop panicking while I was trying to finish things. Like it's kind of creepy.
It is.
And like I think that's good.
But our lives are always like this.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just like... I don't know. Sorry, there was a guy walking by. I felt like I couldn't confess while a guy was
No.
walking by.
No. And like I know that we're really alone and vulnerable right now. And I just dropped a ball of hair that I've been crumpling up on the ground.
That tells you how alone and vulnerable we are.
This bag been open the entire. Like, is there a step we're missing? Because like, I don't know. We had these moments where we were just like, I want someone to pay attention to me. So like, why don't we just sit in this panel and wait until like everyone leaves and because they know each other, and like, why don't we just give them a pamphlet to tell us about these people that they will never care about because they'll just sit in front of us.
Right.
And that sounds really sad, but like, this is actually something that happened.
Yeah. For the record, it was an AO3 panel, so I guess we shouldn't really trust anyone.
Yeah,
at
and
all.
like, I don't know what I was expecting. It's just like, I didn't know what panel it was. I saw on the table that it said Terminator. on
Honestly,
the
I thought I
door.
was going to Terminator panel, and by the second that I was walking in, then she was like, "It's my history of fanfiction panel."
Yeah, well, I was kind of... The only reason that I walked in was because I saw Terminator on the door, and inside I saw AO3. And I was like, okay, maybe I am interested. And then, like, the second that everyone proved that they're just normal idiots that like reading fan fiction on their stupid phones, like garbage men, like, I'm just like, okay, Jesus.
So, like, is it our fault? Are we just, like, too screwed up to exist?
Are we shoo-ins to the universe? But that can't be possible because, like you said, like someone told us that like
we're supposed to be here. Like, we'll find our way. Again, like, there is a reason why we're here.
Yeah, of course.
And maybe that was just because I was, you know, in a panic. I don't know. But people are always telling me shit like that. And I always manage to listen. Like, but it's not just us, because there is a rave going on, and there are 4 people doing this, like, outside, like, pointing their bodies towards the outside as if they're trying to get people to join the rave. Like, it seems like everyone is trying so hard. And I'm not sure if the signals are getting across that, like, something is happening here. Like, the music is so loud that it is giving me heart palpitations if I stay in that building. And yet, there are, like, 4 people doing this. And maybe it's either, like, a matter of location, or this has always been how things at cons are, and we just haven't even bothered to look at them before. Because we were always wrapped in our own or someone else's bullshit. Yeah. Because
I don't know.
Yeah, we are... It's weird because, like, we are basically sheep. We have been sheep. But we have never wanted to be herded. You know? Like, we're not gonna sit here, like, being dogs, trying to guide the sheep. Like, I can try to do that, but it feels like I'm pretending because I'm still a sheep. And that's probably just because, like, I haven't found my herd yet. But I don't know what do I have to do to get one?
But we already have one.
We do.
We literally, out of complete and pure chance, there was a Bananaroxas fan standing right next to us.
Don't get it.
Out of nowhere. And that doesn't make any sense because, as we've been saying, there's 4 people at the rave. There are so few people at the con. The likelihood of this happening just feels so little. But, like,
someone told us that they wanted to see us again tomorrow.
yeah. So, like, isn't that enough? It's not like doing this was instantly going to fix every problem that we ever had and, like, find us every single path in our life forever, but maybe just, like, the act of, like, letting ourselves do something like this, or even letting ourselves feel this weird and disappointed but also seen, is just, like, a necessary step, because none of this is anything that you can feel when you just stay in your house forever.
Yep.
And that's... I don't know, like, that's just, like, how it is. But, like, it matters so much, I think.
We're gonna take pictures.
So what, Hollow Ichigo loves crying. Okay, well, I don't know how much of this emotional breakdown we're gonna put in. Probably all of it. No.
No. We should have. We gotta stop feeling like that.
We just talked about this for like 13 minutes.
Gotcha.
You know what? I think that we are supposed to be here because this whole con, as we've been noticing, has had this feeling, just like us, of people trying really, really hard for like not that much recognition
Yep.
or attention. Like everything that we've gone to, went to the J-Rock concert the first night. There was maybe 9 people there.
Mm-hmm.
And like these girls were just like singing their hearts out. They probably practiced so much for like 9 people. And
Yep.
they would say things like, oh, there's like only 3 people here. Like, and you could tell that they were kind of disappointed too. But like we still came to like support them.
Yep.
And other people came to support us. So maybe this is like exactly where we need to be. Because we're not masquerade people, you know?
Yeah.
Like we're not ever going, like I love getting attention as much as the next guy. Whenever our videos blow up, I am so confused. But like I think that like the kind of connections that we make with people and like the kind of attention that we receive is always going to and is supposed to be this sort of like, I thought nobody else in the world thought like this. I thought nobody else in the world cared about this. I
Yep.
thought nobody else in the world like understood this like feeling.
Yeah.
Because even like people that we've talked to
Mm-hmm.
about any of our stuff, or even just like showing up cosplayed as like an obscure series, is exactly all of those things.
Yep. Yep.
So it's like, that's why we should keep trying. It's like we try so hard on our videos. Of course we tried for hours on cosplays, but didn't get that many pictures taken of them. Because like that's just like what we do.
Yeah.
And like there's no reason to stop doing something that you love just because like I don't know, you're not winning Masquerade like the head of the AO3 panel.
Yeah.
Because like despite how many people they were surrounded with, the fact that they had to make fake AO3 screenshot boxes to like describe everything in their PowerPoint tells me that they cannot think critically at all. And this is not me tearing other people down just because I'm a pretentious asshole, even though I know that I am. Because I'm not a pretentious asshole. You know what one of my favorite things has been in the past like 3 months? Free Iwatobi Swim Club. That is not a pretentious asshole thing.
No, it's like Common Joe.
I like Common Joe trash, and I spend way too long on everything, and I love everyone, and I hate everyone, and I'm never going to change, and it's gonna keep being like this forever, because it resonates with people, and we find them, and we're gonna keep finding them, and it's just gonna keep happening forever. So, like, who else is gonna do it?
Yeah. Yeah. In the wise words of the person that recognized us in our gangsta cosplay, you should do it, because who else is gonna do it?
Exactly. That has always been our motto.
Yeah.
Like, who else is going to make the Lucky Pain? Who else is going to make Metal Gear Solid 5 characters dance to the Lucky Star opening?
Us. It's going to be us. There's
We are
literally no
literally
other choice.
We, in the form that we are, as fucked up as we were at the time that we made that video, as fucked up as we are now, we are the only people on Earth that ever could have made that.
No, and it's only because we went through everything that we went through.
Exactly.
In the words of Granny.
Of Granny Nasty. Put up a picture of Granny Nasty.
There's
There
Granny
is.
Nasty.
Granny Nasty. And I'm sorry, Bananaroxas, because you were like, I know that you were all thinking like, oh, it's a Bananaroxas vlog. What a new, special, fun type of video. I bet they had so much fun. And then we're sitting here and we're just like,
Philosophically, just like,
but like,
tears streaming down her mascara
you
eyes.
should have known. You should have known this was coming. Like, are you kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me?
If you didn't, go back and watch all of our videos and you'll just know exactly what would happen.
I feel like this totally anime thing is happening where like you are like exhaling and laughing and like it's making your mask go and this is a new experience because usually when we're out in public we hate everyone.
No, we look like this. I mean, we still look like that. But...
Yeah, we still look like that. We just happen to be like trying harder.
And last of all, I made all these Bananaroxas brochures, and I'm so thankful to the print shop for making them, and everyone that has received one has been lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good at marketing myself.
I don't think it.
I don't think
possible.
anybody cares.
No.
Except for the people
who
that
need it.
do and need it. And that is all that matters to me. So what? I have 50 of them. I'll be giving them out for years. Because I'm always going to keep trying.
Yep.
You know, like...
And go ahead in the comments. Give us an email. Do you want a Bananaroxas brochure?
We will send you one. We already gave one to the miraculous fan that we met.
Yeah, and we gave one to our parents.
Yes.
And there's going to be more given. I just know it. I just know it. So let's stop waiting for something good to happen and just like...
Realize that it already has.
Yeah.
Because if you told us when we started Bananaroxas that we would ever go to a convention again, we would probably kill you.
yeah, we would have thought you were crazy, really, so...
And I'm happy.
Me too.
Alright.
Alright.
Anything else, bozos?
No.
Just record this whole long process of you sitting down, I'm sorry.
Sakura, Kageyoshi. You hear me?
Honkai.
I look so pretty. I hate everyone. Wait, what? Dude, what? Hate us. I don't want to hate us. I don't know. Delete this whole vlog. It's a mess. No, because then no one will know what Venom Snake did. I have to tell them what he did. It's too funny. What were you saying?
I hope that Venom Snake enjoys his pastry.
Yeah, well, it was like gone, so he must have been hungry. Aww. Weed. Marge, I can't help with the kids right now. Haru's about to swim in the yellow pan. I like how none of our Homer impressions are good enough to justify this bullshit either.
Homie Maggie needs help.
That was good. Peacock made this joke and did he do it better? Let's know in the comments. I don't know. Let's compare all the put Peacock up on the screen. Touch him. Touch Peacock on the screen, guys. Don't reach out. 3, 2, 1. Did you touch him? This is finally good, not just us senselessly rambling. By the way, you look like Jerry Seinfeld from the back. Holy fuck, holy fuck. Okay, I think that like we figured out a good way to describe a lot of what we've been feeling and trying to talk about, and who knows how much of our inane ramblings we'll cut out or we'll keep it all in. I don't know. But like I was saying, like all these things that we've been wanting to happen for years, like for Sammy, like seeing Remuda and talking to him, or talking to someone completely randomly about Zero Escape, or just like us talking someone about gangsta, us like going anywhere and like being recognized for anything at all is just like these things that we've been wanting so bad for years. And so like when they just like randomly happen, sort of like out of the blue without much like ceremony, even though that's like all that you ever wanted, was just like something nice. out of the blue without much ceremony because you wanted it for so long. I felt like the way that I described it was like it's like
A time lag.
yeah, there's like a time lag on that like happiness.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it doesn't make you happy, it's just that like
It's like, why did it... What?
no, but like it's not that you're not grateful, it's not that you're not happy, it's just like I think when you are lonely for so long, it's like this like really sad but happy melancholy, if you will. Just like realization.
Yeah.
And it's like really hard to describe other than just like this is like happiness, like sort of like I don't know, boomeranging from the past,
Yeah.
like somehow making it to me now, who is so much different than like the person that wanted it in the first place, but like we're also still the same.
And we felt a lot of these feelings when we were working on C-Scores, just like interacting with the media.
Yeah.
That we were interacting with, like that moment where like I felt like I was 15 because I was looking at fan art of Roundabout like lifting his shirt up in his underwear.
Yeah, no, it sounds funny, but like
No, it's true. Like it was hard.
yeah.
I felt like scared and embarrassed and like also like really like happy. Like finally, like I'm finding the things that would have hurt me a long time ago.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Or like just made me happy is like I guess to put it in today's terms and not run through his underwear. Like
right.
yeah, like wow, Jesus. Where have you been?
I don't know. It's just like time lag happiness is what I would describe it as. And I'm glad that we talked through all of this in order to like figure out, I think, the core of like what it is. It's like this was always going to be an obviously emotional experience for us. And like no con ever was perfect. And but like it is exactly where we need to be.
And let's just hope with that energy we can feel grateful enough to continue to tomorrow without any more regrets.
Except for whatever happens in the Willy Wonka shower, which will be regretted by everyone.
Did I just have to get on my knees and pray that maybe a shower would happen?
Shout out to you, Miss Johnson. Never forget. Like, I just realized that we are like the narrative foils to everything. If you're not with us, you're against us. It's Bananaroxas, baby.
New?
Description.
Now you're stealing Nicholas's clothes. You lucky dog.
We're both so alive. Like I'm punching the mirror.
A little light from the harbor. I see it. It's Papa coming home. Oh.
You can project this to someone's bathroom right now.
Maybe the bed. Maybe Hobby came around. Bruh. At some point I woke up in the middle of the night and I said to Peter, it was like a question, because I guess I saw his eyes were open. I was like, do you think that Renji knows who Grimjow is? And I think Peter was just like, no.
I said, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. That's her story.
That's the reverse, too.
Yeah. Does Grimjow know who Renji is? No. Okay. You're leaving a ransom note in the Willy Wonka
I
shower?
am leaving a ransom note in the Willy Wonka shower. My leg is really big. It'll work.
Good luck. I think this thing's probably about to short out.
no, it's not. It's
So just try to get the front.
I only have to get the front of my legs, really. Realistically.
Okay, I'm bringing the machine in.
It hates me. It hates me so much. Yeah, it's just,
Faster.
I don't
Faster.
know.
You can go faster.
Ow. It hurts. Okay. Oh, it hates
Yeah, I hear it dying.
No, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be absolutely fine. No, it's so dying. It's so dying. Wait. No, it's dying. It's so dying. I'm just gonna look like an idiot. Why do I even do anything?
I think no one is gonna be looking at your legs anyway, but I just love your energy right now.
Anyway, maybe it's actually better. It is. No, so you can see, look, like, it's all just collecting on.
Did it force shut off?
No.
Okay, there's
It
still
probably
time.
has 2 seconds left in it.
Alright, I'm not gonna stick around to find out, man.
Wouldn't it be the standards are so difficult over that, right?
My Kermit tank fits. Alright. Do we feel okay?
I feel great about that. Honestly, Gil, but if my shoes are popping off, what's new? I guess I do accept that I'm a hobo.
I was expecting to look like literal garbage today. Slash human health.
Gilbert, god damn it, man. You look like you just drummed straight out of a June Mochi.
You look good, too.
Everyone believes the problem today, Gil.
Literally, it's just like some lump forms in my throat from snoring all night.
Yeah, because it's like your head isn't elevated at all on the bed, and like to me next to you, it felt like this like absolutely mountainous snoring rocking bug last night. Like it was so loud, and it was waking me up last night too. But like I felt like the whole bed was shaking with how deeply this was happening to you. But I was like, I don't want to wake you up because we were both like passing out and dying yesterday. So I'm sorry about your pug throat.
Thanks, dude. Deep things. Hang on. Sweet. Bestie.
You're back.
I don't know what I'm not getting right now. I did fine on myself. It's just the fact that I'm doing it on you.
You're only in it for yourself.
I mean, that looks pretty good.
I can live with that conceptually.
Right? Looking good. Dude,
No, I
you just made the most asshole-ish laugh when you did that too. You went,
There's spilled water everywhere and I turned it into cavalier mints. But look, you can still use it, watch.
yeah.
I think there's no other holes in it, so let's go, Gil. I'll just turn it on the towel.
Like, I believe you.
Because nobody can deal with the shower.
Well, we could also use the ones that are already on the ground.
Okay.
Just start going at this point.
Dad, we're not here for too long longer, so...
Too long longer. What is a too long longer?
It's the biggest amount of time you can imagine.
God, this is trash, man. I can't believe you. In your expensive shoes that we made.
That we made with whatever we had lying around. Okay. Well, you know, it's...
Why don't we just lay it upon the border?
Yo,
Okay, well, are you gonna clean it, or are you just gonna keep smelling your own farts?
oh my god.
My dude.
Man.
Well, you wanna drop into the Disney karaoke if the RoboCop is a blow?
Yeah, totally. We love Disney. Obviously. Did you make our social media post, Gil?
Yeah, it did.
What's wrong?
I don't know. I'm trying to say. Well, I don't know what to say, so tell me what to say. My shoes, you gotta help me put on my shoes. I wanna feel like I'm less trashy than I think that.
The second verse.
Huh?
I guess not.
Put on my shoes, they're gonna make me look cool. Put on my shoes for you.
No, again.
Uh-huh. My shoes on you will not be a fool. Put on my shoes. I need to stop raving. Everyone thinks I'm insane. Literally everyone.
No, again, go.
That was Put On My Shoes by Gilbert and Ira. I hope you enjoyed this cover.
Applause! Applause!
What a cover I wrote this.
You wrote the book on putting on your shoes. Yeah.
Put on my shoes. Put on my shoes.
Well, that was an exclusive demo track.
Yeah, the demo is so much better than the board.
It always is. It literally.
Okay, so a couple things. We got recognized, actually, so that was cool. And then we adopted the Haru because we realized that we're more like him than we wanted to admit. Yeah, so here you go, fucker. Because it's just like he forgot, like, people forgot that he existed, and even if they did remember him, no one cared enough to say, hey Haru, I want to take you home. And so we felt bad for him and we took him in.
Now we're drowning him in melon bread like he always wanted.
Yep. Well, we should be careful, because otherwise we're gonna have to. No. Yeah.
I'm just at the point where I'll literally do anything. $3.
3 wicked bucks.
$3 wicked dollars.
Why is there tape on the back of your pants?
There's tape on the back of my pants.
Yeah.
Where isn't there tape? Okay, what, Gilbert?
Okay, just kick it up. Kick it up, you fat ass.
Yeah.
Kick it up. Alright. Don't blame me when it all comes crashing down.
I've already half waxed myself. I don't see why anything matters anymore.
Now I'm in the living room screaming at my butthole. I'm just saying I can't deal with anything at all. Ooh, I make no way. God, I'm fucking stupid. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm thinking I'm poo. You look back at me and yes, I know that I am. Oh, I think I'm shit. Oh.
Look at my eyes and they look like shit.
7 weeks later, I forgot my ranch dressing. I'm just saying, if you really wanted it, you should eat it. My sister makes the way, may.
Ooh, I do something, maybe not, I don't know.
Do you want a pumpkin cheesecake? It's probably $45 per slice. Oh yeah. Pumpkin cheesecake. Down for the crap and I'm drowning in poop. Oh my god, I'm fucking partying. I should take my pants off.
You wanna get the other one?
Yes, I'm on my way to partying, baby girl.
Okay, sorry.
Ooh, I wish you would shut the fuck up about poo. No things is funny. I know. Boy, you are a shitstorm. Boy, look at your butt.
Down from the count and drowning in shit. I'm shitstorm. But you do.
Okay, I feel like you're kind of fucking stepping on your shoe. And I get nervous thinking I'm fucking poo. And I know that it's true. And you look back
As long as I'm a little, I swear to God, I never feel like poopy.
Thanks, man.
Stop filming now,
That
Xerxes
reminds me
break.
of Oz.
What does?
I don't know.
You say this about everything. God.
Nope, I do never shut up.
Say it. If someone shows up, I'll just look like I'll be having some kind of weird kind of sex with the earth, so maybe they won't bother us. I just, like, assume a straitjacket method.
Yeah, that'll help.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, buck those knees in. Yeah, I got you, babe.
Okay, wait. Oh, it's gonna hurt. Okay.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Jesus, no one's around. No lights around.
You want some of me laying in the ground? A trash dude.
He's just a trash and not an atrocity. Okay, thank you.
Gilbert.
Okay, I think I was less worried about tearing my pants and more worried about tearing my clothes because I just like put my foot down. No, this is funny. You're Gabrieling you?
Yeah.
No, this is what happens when Jamie Cardi walks in.
I mean, what else are we supposed to do?
I mean, yeah, this is what happens when you're really autistic about something that no one else cares about.
This is what happens when.
This is what happens. Your face when Vincent walks in. Your face when Alex walks in. Your face when the Will of Abyss walks in.
I love these. These are so fun. Okay. Wow. It's empty.
Who do you want to? Do you want to dance?
Yeah, let's dance.
This is the only thing I know how to do anymore.
You're just a gazebo man.
I mean, you know me. I need somewhere that I can lean against. We're doing caramel dance.
In case nobody can tell. Let's see. If I put this on the ground, do you just do anything?
No way.
Just move back a bit. Keep moving back. Okay, yes. This is great.
Oh no, dude. Dude. I'm having so much fun. Fuck y'all.
He's probably going nowhere. You can even come a slight bit closer. There you go.
Let's try it. It'll just work.
Alright, he's ready. I love you, Gil. You should hold me.
I killed you.
Fuck you, you did that on purpose.
Let's get our mask. That was fun.
Where's my goddamn elbow, Nightwing? This is RoboCop. Okay, real quick, Gillenberg just got back from a panel called RoboCop.
Yeah. Okay, that was amazing. I love how he like spoke as if like he was in the universe of RoboCop.
Yes.
But also like about it in the third person at the same time.
Yes.
But also in the second person.
Yes. Yeah,
And,
all of it.
Like it was all of it at once, and like he was such a good presenter too.
Yes.
Like you could tell that he actually wanted to tell us about RoboCop.
Yes, he was just
Like, he would look at every
eye
single person in the
contact.
room.
Even though there were only like 5.
Yeah.
And like my favorite part is that like he's gearing up to maybe do it next
Yeah.
year. Because like at the end of it, he was just like, "Would you guys be interested in learning a little more about RoboCop,
And
like
he's
2 and 3?" I was like, "Absolutely, yes."
Yeah, and he wanted to work in the comics. He wasn't quite sure how to do it because kind of a daunting
bit of a
task.
niche thing, but my favorite part was when Venom Snake. By the way, we met Venom Snake, but he's not Venom Snake today. He's just a guy, which he was yesterday. Venom Snake was back, and Venom Snake asked, "Are 2 and 3 any good about RoboCop?" And his answer, the presenter, was just like, "I think that they're all good in their own different ways." So shout out to Big Chris from the RoboCop panel.
Thank you for
Because
your hard work.
I learned a lot about RoboCop. Neither of us have ever seen RoboCop.
We raised our hands anyway.
Yes, I said that I was gonna say read RoboCop, which I guess you can do.
You can apparently.
You
read
can do.
RoboCop.
But I did ask a question. Xerxes Break asked, "What is the absolute coolest thing that RoboCop has ever done?" And we got an answer.
Yeah.
I just feel like he was so happy to be talking about
I know.
RoboCop.
I thought of a question too, but like at that point he had already like
kind of stopped because he was playing music at the beginning. I was like, oh, who made the music for RoboCop? And I just walk back in and say, who made the music for RoboCop?
We could like go right now.
We could go right now. I mean, let's go.
I'm still talking about RoboCop. I loved just like this this like very matter of fact and yet just like very like professional way that like he talked about like the format of his RoboCop panel. He's just like, you know, this is the first year we're just like trying things out, getting a feel for like how a RoboCop panel could work, and I think in the future I'd like to really expand on that. But one of my favorite things, like maybe like add in some of the quotes that the lines that he always says.
It's perfect because like compared to the other panels that we have sat in,
Yes.
like I love how like he isn't pitying himself.
No.
He's
No.
not just like, well, I'm weird for wanting to make a panel about RoboCop.
No. He would never think that.
He believes earnestly that if people want to go to his RoboCop panel, they're going to.
Yes.
And that is the energy that we all need to have. We all need to be like that. We don't need to be like, well, we're weird, so why don't I just be weird?
No.
Just be like, no, this is who I am.
This is
like
who I am.
RoboCop.
It is not an adjective. RoboCop is a noun, and that is what you are. That is what you are.
Be RoboCop.
We are RoboCop right now. Can anyone remember one of the RoboCop lines that he says? I immediately forgot. It was really cool.
Everything has a silver lining.
Yeah, yeah. That's from the OCP, but like.
You're going to die or something.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like also like sometimes when he would try to like play a video, but it didn't have audio, so he would just start like doing it live, just like doing it live. I loved it so much. Just like the dedication, the realness, and of course the disconnect of just like not caring that like anyone. Whether or not RoboCop is currently popular, whether or not it's even gotten any kind of reboot in like the past amount of years. Last thing I heard was 2014, which at this point is like 12 years ago. So like,
Yeah.
it was really very like Viromrexy and Bananaroxy.
Super Viromrexy.
It was so Viromrexy. So.
So I'm gonna make a fake cigarette.
Okay.
This hotel paper.
Oh
We're
yay!
gonna stand on the porch.
Yes! I gotta go pee. Sexy. Gibbers, thank you.
This looks like a lollipop.
Oh yes, lint hair infested lollipop. Thank you, Gibbers. Lick Haru-chan.
Don't we all wish that wasn't us? Cause I don't care. I'm sorry, Mato.
You know how to smoke. How do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? Oh, like oh yeah. Say it again.
I look friendly.
No, you don't look friends. You always become what you sought to destroy. French.
Throat is so sore. Snoring, removing all moisture from body.
I swear, like we're gonna get home and then it's gonna be like, oh yeah,
Oh, I'm nice and wet again.
exactly. You're wrong, Gil.
I'm hungry. Do you want to get chocolate cake?
Yay! Let's do it. Now you're thinking like me. What's wrong, Gil?
I'm the only cool person for you.
What?
I don't know.
Well, I could just start licking scissors.
Don't do that. I'll kill you. All right.
Okay.
You gotta do the thing. Hey guys. That's exactly why we're doing it.
Oh,
You can only fit one.
No, I got it.
You can leave now. You can leave now. Okay, down, break, down.
It'll hurt worse going down.
Ooh, I have pockets. Yum.
I sound like my brother.
Do it, Gil.
Get into nothingness.
Like Gil.
I think falling on your ass hurts no matter how you are and who you are.
It's true. I got dropped on the grass earlier. My ass hurts. No, it was hilarious and exactly what you would do. So it's great. I should have tried to make you carry me more. Wait, there's still time. There's still time. Cool. We haven't been in a restaurant in I don't even know how many years.
That's a great question.
Probably similar to Con, but maybe even different. Less, maybe. I mean, like, I've been to, like, 0 Degrees and Boba Shops, but that's not a restaurant.
That's more like a takeout place. Not really like a sit-down. There's a menu place.
No. Yay, Pandora Hearts, tea time. Look at that shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah! Gilbert's people. Rich people. Yeah, enjoy, motherfucker. Forgot chocolate on himself.
It's like a linen, so it's not even doing it.
Ooh, getting testy about fabric.
I think. I don't know.
No, you know everything, Gil.
Alright, let's stop listening up now.
They only gave us 2 breads.
Because we're 2 people.
Okay, we're 2 people. The amount of bread that we can eat is 3, if not 7 people. Saw that, Gilbert. Everyone saw it.
No, they didn't.
I'm sorry, I said bitches. There's children next to us. Should I stop swearing?
We're fools. We're foolhardy.
What are we laughing about, Gil? It's silly.
No, we'll tell them after.
Okay, we're laughing about the garlic bread, though.
That was so cool.
Oh, do you want to be on bench underneath tree? Oh, with rock. Oh, so cool.
Okay, who did this?
I have no idea.
Okay.
What have you been doing, Gil?
I've been yawning.
Like, I can't even say, like, constructive criticism begins now, because these are perfect. This is exactly how they are.
I think the best solution to this problem that you're experiencing right now would be to install snaps
Probably.
and then actually give you pantyhose.
Yeah.
But I may have to make them if we want them to be. How about these dead flowers? Those are cool.
Yeah, Gil, you should take a picture by those because you're such a sad, dead sack. Oh, wait, this is gonna look so cool. Okay.
It's golden hour. Let's go out and overpriced cosplays and fall over on lava rocks. By public benches. Yes. Yes.
We haven't told the olive bread story.
Okay.
You want to do that out here on this park bench?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, that's it. Yeah. When we were at the restaurant for our dessert and forced bread, the waiter was like this, like, kind of gay-sounding guy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No offense.
It like, you know.
Obviously, no offense.
Obviously no offense. You're cosplaying Gilbert Knight. But, who, like, kept, like, forgetting stuff.
Literally
from,
everything.
like, we asked for Earl Grey, and he gave us, like, chamomile, and we had to ask
I
him
asked
to
for
change
chocolate
it.
cake.
I asked for chocolate cake.
And then, like, as he was telling us what we were having, and you split the creme brulee, and I was
Yeah,
just
it's
like,
I
wait a
want
minute.
chocolate cake. He
Chocolate
forgot
cake.
that. And then later we were being annoying because we wanted bread.
Uh-huh.
And someone said, like, when we signed out, oh, we'll get some fresh bread out for you. And no one brought us bread. I was like, so someone's supposed to bring us bread. And he was just like, yeah, that was me. And
I forgot.
I didn't do anything.
And I didn't do anything.
So,
I told you, I was the one that told you that, and I didn't. Something stupid.
So, like, I tipped him $13, and he was great. It was a great experience. But the thing that was funny was that there was, like, another table, like, a family that got sat behind us soon after.
To my chagrin.
Yeah, Gil hated it, but he made it. And I don't know what they were ordering, but like he comes back with like their food, and he's just like, "What is the line?" It was just,
Well,
like,
well, look who got a little extra garlic bread, even though I split it for you guys.
and like I started
To like a
choking.
child.
Yeah, it was just like to the random like 3-year-old that was there, and I started like choking on my cake or Gil's cake that I was trying to finish.
And
for
then
him.
I said, "You go," or something stupid like that.
Because it was just like so cunty out of nowhere for absolutely no reason.
You tell him.
And it was really, really funny.
It was funny. I have this problem in public where I like to pretend that I'm in other people's conversations.
Yeah, but
so
like quietly.
I finish them for them.
Yeah.
Or like I try to do it like as I'm walking away so that like they end up having a weird experience where like they
sort of heard you.
they sort of heard me. They definitely did. And,
Yeah,
and they're
no,
just
it's
like,
so
"You're
funny."
weird."
So, another thing, the family was like obviously like drawing and coloring with this child, and like there's like just like either like their grandmother or their aunt or something was just like talking to this kid who was drawing. It's like, "Oh, you could draw a dog or something.
Make sure you give it a tail.
Make
Put
sure
a
you
tail
give it
on
a
that
tail.
dog. If you put a horn on it,
It'll be a unicorn." And then I said, "This changes the meta completely." And then Gil started losing because we're annoyed.
And then we got like recognized by one other person.
Yes,
So
we did.
Good for them.
And they were super
Good for them.
excited, and it made me happy. And I gave everyone candy
Yeah.
so much. So I feel like today was a better day. I
Yeah.
don't feel nearly as like introspectively deranged as we did yesterday.
No, I think we got all that out, and I'm ready to go home and literally do anything else right now. So.
Yes, we're definitely gonna fuck off for a while. But it
I
doesn't
don't know
mean-
where we're going after this.
Doesn't mean that we're not gonna make Bananaroxas videos because
We will.
have had so many ideas of some really stupid and ugly crap that we want to do.
I
but
want to
we-
do something ugly more than anything in the world.
I know.
So.
After trying so hard for a while, we can't do it anymore. At least for a bit. But I'm really glad that we tried this, and it was, I think, a really memorable and valuable experience.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll make a video of it probably.
In some way or another.
And if you're watching it, then you're watching the video that we made.
If not,
If not, then no
we
one.
never exist.
We never made this.
We don't even exist. My nail polish is so pretty. I can't believe this.
It's so pretty, Gil. I
Oh,
love
it's
it.
so pretty.
It's so pretty. Hell yeah.
So, like, are we coming back next year?
Do we have a choice?
I don't know. Well, we left a program on the desk, so either the hotel employees will recycle the propaganda, or some random person that has been playing tabletop games and hasn't gotten up from their chair for like 90 days will pick it up and be like, "Oh, what's this?" And then the journey will begin. You never know. You just have to keep putting yourself out there all the time. Or maybe just some random tourist will take one. I hope so. I love the idea. It was just like a middle-aged man, woman, whatever. It's just like coming to pick, just like sit down at the desk by the fire and then just be like, "So what's this?"
No, Bananaroxas.
It's like, it matters, you know? It matters. It matters. It matters. It matters. It matters.
The pendulum swings.
Because you got used to the crap-ass chair. Is the con over? The con's over. Why? What am I doing in this? I'm gonna kill myself. Gilbert, don't say that. Ew.
Ew.
I can't believe you said you felt bad.
Who said that? I mean...
Well, if nothing else, I learned how to tie a cravat.
Okay, you learned so much more than that, but yes, we did. Did you know, like, how many people said that we look great, and we didn't finish, like, anything for these cosplays?
Okay, we did. I finished Warwick's eye patch, like, minutes before I would be out in public, and I, like, stabbed my fingers so many times. I actually, like, drove the needle so hard into my skin that, like, it just, like, pulled up blood. This happens a lot.
It does.
But I was just going...
Yep. I was packing literally everything because you wouldn't stop making Warwick's eye patch, but it was so worth it in the end.
Because otherwise I would have worn the pirate one and it just would look
We just
crappy,
didn't
so.
want to do that again. I'm sorry. I wish that I had brought it as a backup though, because then I could have given it to Venom Snake.
I thought about that. Oh, my eyes only get so puffy and cute when I cry.
That's why everybody feels bad for you, Gilbert Knight Ray. You want to take a sad pic? You can pretend that you just met us again.
Wait a minute.
What?
You know what's so cool is that the people that recognize this, like, okay, the first one recognized you before me,
Uh-huh.
and then the other one recognized me before you.
See, look, that's proof that we're just as put together as each other at every, like, stage. You know, and even with Bleach, like, someone specifically said my Byakuya was on point, and then when you won the raffle, they called up Ichigo.
And then when Byakuya's scarf ate his badge, it was like, Byakuya,
Where's your badge? That was funny. I don't even know if he told anyone about that. I was just like, it's here. I just am wearing like 7 layers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crappy thing about Hakama, because, like, in this, I can hang it off of here.
Yeah, right.
Which I should have done as Warwick, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And then, like, with the Hakama, it's like, okay, where do I put this?
Yeah. I had to come up with different pocket solutions this whole time, too. I didn't have pockets
Mostly
today.
I took a page out of
either.
Ramuta's book. I saw what he did.
Yeah. Yeah, he was smart. Him and his gay belts. In conclusion, we just had probably like a 40-minute conversation about why everybody feels depressed now.
Yeah.
And it was a good conversation, but I don't really know if we can say any of it.
Not yet.
No,
Not
you-
until we know what this means.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll figure it out though. Yucky. You
want to eat melon pan and choke to death?
Yay! Wow, you're like really good at that when you've been crying. You sound exactly like Tatsuhisa Suzuki.
Thank you.
The shoes are stuck together. And cut. Yeah, what did you just realize?
I'm older than them. Now I'm older than 20-year-olds.
Me too.
Seriously, like, I thought I was gonna die before I hit 20, so, like...
Honestly, me too.
Oh, right. Get that means.
I haven't made enough creepy pictures, I just realized, but everyone is sick of our shit. Okay, let's take a creepy picture. We're gonna take a creepy picture. Okay, creepy picture. Okay. Also, thank you to the person that recognizes us, Pandora Hearts, and promo Bananaroxas on their Instagram story.
They're really popular.
They're like so popular, like 2,000 followers. That is literally like the Hollywood Met Gala bowl for us.
For bus.
For Bus. Hi, I'm Bus. Welcome to our cosplay channel.
We're glad to meet you. I don't know what we can do.
The battery's dying, but
That means we're arriving and approaching its station.
nothing makes any sense. Yeah. Ew, Gil, God. You know what? Fuck you. Fuck this Willy Wonka shower. Fuck this Wonka shower forever. Look, it's made of wood and it doesn't even have a drain. There's like this creepy line at the back where everything goes.
Okay, don't move. I'm making fun of you. I'm gonna fix it for next time because you're gonna be done by then.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
And we'll do it again.
We'll obviously do it again.
See ya. Ichigo and Bianca were doing this, but they were so fucking busy trying to look beautiful that they never did.
No.
Because we were saying it all the time.
Bergamo, Hinoki, driving me insane. I'm going off the rails on a Bergamo Hinoki train. Skin wounds not healing, dermatitis insane. Going off the rails on a Bergamo Hinoki train. Sir. That used to be the most painful thing in our lives, even though it wasn't. We were lying.
We were lying because we forgot how much everything else hurt. Anyways, what a fun con.
What a fun time.
You're eating food in the shower.
And then go ahead and like close that and then say bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Oh my god, where did he go?
Huh?
Ew.
I'm back. We can make Emma leave though. We can
Yeah, we'll do that next time. Sabaton.
Are we crazy? Guys, let us know in the comments if you think that we're crazy.
We're hungry. We're hungry for more.
I don't know. Maybe we should just go with B on this one. Just like.
But the Sabatons.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, we've been saying like all weekend because we've had all these weird feelings that like we're Charlie Brown and so
Charlie Brown Christmas.
Charlie Brown Christmas style, you know, like I'm supposed to be happy, so why do I feel this way? But then we also like remembered what cosplay is really about in a lot of ways. In conclusion,
We Brownin.
Who up Brownin? Smash that sound like you're shitting.
Smash that Charlie Brown button.
Smash that Woodstock beep if you up Charlie Browning your ass. We need to pack and leave.
Who up Brownin?
Brown, let us know in the comments if you Brownin.
I'm Brownin. Who up? I'm Brownin. What you doing?
Real Brownin hours. Who's Brownin? We actually really love the peanuts.
Who out here is still Brownin? I feel like 10-year-old you would be pleased indeed.
I hope so. I was like so autistic about Snoopy that it wasn't even funny. I would bite people over that.
No, that was Sally.
Yeah, this stupid, dumbass second grade teacher who didn't know the difference between Sally and Lucy, and I was just like, this bitch. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, Mrs. Moss.
No, we're Brownin.
We were on it. Real blockhead. Real blockhead hours. I think we also had a lot of those. We had so many blockhead hours.
Blockhead check.
Leave a good grief in the comments if you were a real one.
You want to eat the rest of our French bread?
Yes, I do. What's it? Barma? Fucking whatever.
Hamu, little red-haired girl. Hamu.
Okay, what was the other thing you said, Gil? We brown in the good grief out of this place.
Oh my god.
Do you think that Jotaro and Charlie Brown would
Okay.
be friends?
There's a chance. Okay, but second of all, and like right before we left, we couldn't stop saying, "No, we can dong."
The context of this joke is so complicated.
I just remembered it just now.
Oh, we can know.
Yeah. We could sit here and explain it, but we need to eat our bread so we can leave the homo.
The homo where we have been living. I love you. No, I don't.
Stop, bro.
You can't cut your bread, you stupid night ray. Are you okay?
Fiber on my ocean. Out here living on cold cereal and maybe toast.
What was it actually?
And the bewitching dawn just begun. Haru, you've bewitched me. But your bewitching dawn just as long.
動き始めた僕ら歩いてきた足跡はもうないさ心に憂いが生まれてしまったせいで明日のことを祈ってる僕のせいでもう戻れないあなたから差し伸べてくれた君のぬくもりも涙の行方をたどっちまったせいでこの手をぎゅっと離せなくなったせいで迷い子たちの物語呪いも魔法も解けてくれないがもう少しこのままでいようかああ
Okay, we're finally unpacking the wonderful goodie bag that the wonderful maids gave to us because we won the raffle. Look at this. It's fucking Squirtle kombucha. What am I supposed to do? Instant too? Instant Squirtle kombucha.
How is it?
I don't know.
And look, it's vagina.
It's vagina. Thank you. We love it. Look, a yaoi plate.
A yaoi plate.
I assume.
It's a yaoi plate.
We both just collectively screamed at seeing this random batch of stickers like, oh my god, it's good! In vaporwave format.
Okay, this is radical.
Another great sign.
We're okay now. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm an idiot.
Sorry.
It's fucking Butthead from the My Heroes.
That's the one I'm supposed to be.
That's okay, we'll be him now.
I don't know. I mean, there's like 2 Shuichis. Why don't we just have them do things with each other? Which is exactly what happened to me.
Right.
So, to whatever Latina Shuichi was out there, I hope that, you know, she got what she needed to out of that, because I certainly kind of did.